last year. Maybe. Oh, great. Hi. I was asked to talk about the Cloth Nappy Library. I was one of the founding members of the Nappy Library. We started up a chat group about nappies about just over 5 years ago. And we were all chatting and realised that there was nowhere to find out information in real life about the nappies. And you couldn't even see them, you were just buying them online and there was nowhere to try them. And other countries had libraries and all kinds of supports, and we thought, geez, why is there nothing here? And then we thought, why don't we do it? And it must have been 2 o'clock in the morning because we set up a Facebook page and an email address, and we started going on. We contacted lots of retailers and asked them to donate nappies so that we could show them off at a baby fair that's on in a couple of weeks. And the response was unbelievable. We got loads. We had maybe 20 nappies within a fortnight to show at this baby fair. So we went to, it was the All About Baby Fair, and we showed them off there. And within another couple of weeks we realised that we could possibly get some more and start lending them out to people to try. And parents started giving us nappies. Oh, I'm not using them anymore, you can have mine. And before we knew it, we had quite a lot of nappies to lend out. And we started doing that by post. And after another couple of weeks, we were chatting on Facebook again, and we realised that people who are already using cloth nappies were having issues finding newborn nappies because you really only get about 6 weeks out of them. And we found that if you were to buy them and then have to sell them on again, it's a lot of bother. And if you buy them and you keep them, it's quite an investment. And then you need to buy bigger nappies again. So we decided we'd start lending out the newborn nappies as well. So over the last couple of years, we've grown. We do a newborn nappy loan. That's a 6-week nappy loan. So you have the tiny nappies for 6 weeks, and they do up to maybe 4 or 5 weeks usually, but depending on the size of the baby. And then you're ready to move on to your own stash of birth to potty nappies. We do a home trial kit for 2 weeks. That's it's birth to potty nappies. There's a mixture of different ones in there, about 10 in the kit, and we have lots of local nappy libraries that will be the same kit as that. We do a bed wetting kit for older children who are still wetting the bed, going up to maybe 5, 6, 7. That there's a cloth option for that. All when one of the girls has a lot of experience in that area herself and just was able to pull enough together so you can see what to buy and what's going to work, what your child is going to be happy with before you go investing. We do a potty training kit, so you don't have to buy everything. You can hold on to it for 2 or 3 weeks until you're done with potty training. If you don't do easy, it'll be much quicker if you do. And then we do we only lend out these kits. We only lend out ones that are currently on the market, because there's no point in you trying a Bum Genius if they don't make them anymore. Because then if you want to buy them yourself, you can't. So we set up. We were finding that we were getting lots of nappies in as donations that were older brands and brands, either the entire brand is gone or the nappy company has updated them. They've gone from a version 3 to a version 4. So we started doing long-term nappy loans. Those are for, I think we extended from 6 months to 9 months. So you can just borrow a full kit of 20 to 24 nappies for your 9 months. And if you want to hold on to them longer, we're really not too fussed. It's really just to give them a home, that they've somewhere to go, that they're being used. They're perfectly good condition, just not top of the range, not the newest brands that are out there. Sometimes we used to have a situation where we had lots of pre-folds in those kits, but now we have a good mixture of different ones, and you can see if we have anything that you're interested in that's available. So it's a good way to get into what a lot of people do, is get the long-term loan. So for the first 6 months you're using mostly our nappies, and you gradually invest in your own few really cute ones. You can buy the loveliest ones, without having to really think about the cost, because it's over such a stretch of time. We keep that at very low cost as well. I think it's €26 or thereabouts, which is amazing to get your nappies for that price. So that's pretty much what we do at the moment. There's some local nappy libraries that have been funded by the county councils in various counties. So we make applications through LA21, which is grant funding for environmental local projects. So we get money from a few counties every year and get things going. We have one in Cork. We have them in maybe about 8 or 9 counties at the moment, and they'd be similar to the home trial kit. You can borrow 10 nappies, all different types, for about 3 weeks, and then you need to get them back and washed for the next meet-up about once a month. So it's a great way of doing it, because you can talk to somebody locally about the nappies, and if you don't understand something, you have someone to talk to or someone to ring up about it. So there's about 5 different types of nappies. There's all-in-one nappies that have everything all stuck together, just like that. You put that on the baby, you take it off, you put it in the washing machine. There's nothing really magical to do to it. Dry it, that's it. It's got waterproof on the outside, and the inside is very absorbent. So when you're using those, the downside to them is that you can't separate things. You're washing the whole thing all at once, which is a downside. But on the upside then, if you're sending this to a crash, it's so simple. It's very like a disposable. There's absolutely nothing complicated about it. So you know, a lot of people will go for those. There's a few different styles. Some of them open out and the flaps come out, and other ones they tuck into a pocket in it as well. But essentially in all in one, it's all stuck together. There's nothing to clip off or anything. Then there's pocket nappies. They're pretty similar. Fleece usually, and something waterproof on the outside. And then you have absorbent parts to put in. You can put in 3, 2, you can put in different materials, and you put the absorbent part on the inside. And then when it comes to washing the nappy, obviously this part will be wet and dirty, and the inside part will be soaked. So you need to wash both sides. But this is fleece and plastic, so it's going to be dry in half an hour. So what a lot of people will do is they have a lot of these and a few of those. You might have maybe 20 of these, but extras of these. So as soon as your nappy is dry, you have a stash of boosters and you boost it up with something different, and you leave these on a radiator, in the dryer, it doesn't really matter. You shouldn't put PUL into the dryer too often. The odd time is okay, but if you put PUL into the dryer too much, it can damage it. So the advantage really of a 2-part system like that is that you can dry this in your dryer, dry it on a radiator, whereas a radiator would damage the plastic kind of part of this, you know, directly on it. So it'll dry quickly, but it's a little bit trickier to manage sometimes. Then there's fitted nappies that are just gigantic, shaped kind of part of very absorbent materials. They're all slightly different. And they would soak, obviously that would hold an awful lot more than a booster. In terms of pee, there's an awful lot more absorbency in it. But it's not waterproof, so you'd need to put a wrap on outside it. So you get this on first, then you get the wrap on over it on the baby, which, as you can imagine, you know, it's great when they're very small. There's no wiggling around when they're very small. But when they get to a wiggly kind of stage where they're, you know, you're trying to do 2 different things, you're doing this and then you're doing that. So it's a little bit more work. And of course, it looks a bit more complicated sending them into a creche, or if granny comes over to mind them or whatever. The advantage is that this holds an awful lot. So most people would use something like these for nighttime because it would soak up so much and you're not going to have leaks. Obviously the wrap is just plasticky kind of stuff, PUL, so it dries very, very quickly, half an hour easily, completely cork dries, wave it around if it's slow. And this would have some elastic in it, so it probably shouldn't go in the dryer too often. Again, it would damage your elastic over time, but it's not the end of the world if you need to pop this in the dryer. And then there's flat nappies. Then there's flat nappies, they are pre-folds, and they'd be the simplest way of doing it, and they'd be very, very cheap to buy. When I started off, I bought 12 of these for €20. That was 12 nappies, and you need approximately 20 to 24 to get by. So you could potentially get by with spending very, very little. So they just go. Usually, what I would have done is put these into the wrap beforehand, and just light. It's a bit fiddly. It's a bit fiddly, right? Light it in and then close up the nappy around it. But there's all kinds of YouTubes and fancy ways of clicking them closed and all kinds of things that you can do if you want to be a bit more adventurous. Very cheap way of doing it. Again, they dry. They take a long time to dry, but the wraps are dry really fast. Sorry, love. Oh, she's hot chocolate. She's on. Okay. The big advantage I find with these is they're fantastic for cleaning up spills. So even though we're finished with them as nappies, if someone spills half a litre of milk in our house, I pull out a pre-fold from somewhere and lob it on top of it, and it's better than kitchen roll. It's fantastic. They're fantastic. They soak up so much. And the last one, then there's nappies where the inside part clicks in some way. This one is a G nappy, and the inside part just fits into a piece of plastic on the inside. But there's a lot of brands where you click something in. So when you're changing the nappy, you'd have the whole lot already stuck together. So you're not trying to put on 2 different things, but you can take it off to wash them separately if you want to. But when you're changing, it's all one part. It's kind of an in-between version of it. So that's kind of the basics of the different types. But of course, within each type, then there's every different brand does it slightly differently with different little features. I suppose the other big difference between them, these ones are all newborn nappies. The other big difference would be the Velcro and the snaps for closing them. Velcro would close pretty similar to a disposable nappy, very easily, very quick. You know, if you had any difficulty with your hands, they'd be easier to work. And then the snappers, or poppers click like on buttons or something. They're a little bit harder to close, but then they're for your toddler, they're a little bit harder to open. Whereas the Velcro, they whoosh, gone, nappy off. And so what I would always say myself is that I'd recommend getting a mixture of the two. I wouldn't buy all poppers, because then, if you're in a hurry or the baby's very wiggly, you're trying to close it, and that's the day you grab one with Velcro on it. And then when they get to the stage where they are pulling the nappy off, then you just you rely more on your nappies with colours on them. So for me, it would always be kind of having a mixture of the different ones that you can use one day, something different another day, that you didn't buy 24 of these. I wouldn't do that. I always wanted a mixture of things. So that's kind of it. Did anyone have questions, or are there any questions about them or anything? You can always ask me, or at the nappy library stall as well.
Do you have any advice about using boosters?
Oh, using boosters. Boosters will be pretty similar to inserts. I would use the terms interchangeably. By the time I buy them, usually when you buy them, you have a booster in it, and then you buy inserts, and after a week or two, they kind of all look the same, and they're kind of a muddle. There's different materials in them. Usually microfiber would soak up very, very quickly. It's the same as the microfiber you'd be using when you're cleaning cloths, would feel very similar. And then bamboo or cotton would soak up an awful lot more for the size of the booster. So you're dealing with two different types. I suppose babies pee differently. Some babies will hold and pee, every couple of hours, and it'll be a gush, and you need microfiber to catch it quick enough. But you need something behind the microfiber to soak up enough, because there's such a volume there. Whereas other children will trickle away. Sorry, I'm walking up. Other babies will trickle away for half the day, and they won't need the same kind of volume control. So it depends really on the baby. So what most people would do is they put what most people would do is they put the microfiber right beside the bum to catch it quickly. So you're not getting a splash out. And then they put either cotton or bamboo behind that. Some babies can be sensitive to microfiber, it can be very drying on your skin. So a lot of people will then put a liner in between. Some people would use reusable fleece ones, and other people would use disposable liners. So that's handy for catching the poo, but also handy for keeping the baby dry. Sorry, Jenny, got to flap them. Did that answer what you wanted to know? Okay. Did I forget anything else? The stall is inside in the other room if you want to ask any questions or have a poke through the nappies or look at them and see what there is. The girls are great for answering questions there, even local meetups and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I suppose I didn't talk about any of the advantages. Obviously, it works fine with PC, which was already talked about. And then I suppose that the cost overall is an awful lot less. My first baby was in the and I would have spent about €1,000 I worked out on her nappies. Whereas my last two children, I would have spent much less than $1,000 for two children. So the saving is huge. And then the environment, of course, makes a gigantic difference. I suppose they'd be the main things. But different people have different reasons. The cuteness is huge. Oh. That's about it, Shirley, is it? Are we done?
Oh, but you keep talking.
I'm done.
Okay.
Thanks. She was much worse shouting last year. I got nothing said. I don't know what I was saying after the She doesn't let me talk to other people. You can't hear her? Really? I can't talk. Mommy, don't. A kite is a kite is a kite. Oh. Mom. What's that? Nice. Special than last year.
Yeah.
Relax, it's on her with you.
Oh, it's great.